What's good, Smooth Family? It's your boy Brandon McCoy, aka Be Smooth. You can't be smooth and you gotta move. And this is Smooth Talk. Got my dad here with me.
What's going on, everybody?
Man, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Golly, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm good. You?
Doing good.
I'm doing good.
Well, before we get started, I'm going to introduce myself for the newcomers, and then I'm going to let my dad introduce himself. So, I'm Brandon McCoy. I'm 24 years old. I'm from North Carolina. I'm a dancer, author, and motivational speaker. It's a bunch of other things I do as well, but the main thing is dancing, motivational speaking, and me being an author. I deal with sickle cell.
And y'all see, that's my son. It's Brandon McCoy. Be Smooth. My name is Carl McCoy. I'm 54 years old. I work at the Honda place and dealership in Indian Trail. I just got my LLC for my own business too, McCoy Detailing. So I'm on the move, y'all. It don't matter how old you are, you still can do something.
Right. Well, the topic for today is, do you love yourself?
Uh-oh.
I told you I was coming with the heat. So, a lot of people, they say that they love themselves, but, sometimes by their actions or like just some of the things that you see, a lot of people don't really like love themselves as much as you see. So my question is, do you think you love yourself? And like, what are some things can you like do to prove that point to yourself, not to others, but to yourself?
Exactly.
So what's your insights on that?
Honestly, if you love yourself, you really wouldn't be doing harm to yourself. And especially when it comes to relationships. If you don't know how to love yourself, how in the world can you love somebody else? You can't. You have to learn how to love yourself first to be able to learn how to love someone else too. It starts with yourself first. Even though despite what goes on, it starts with you. I love myself enough that I'm not going to hurt myself because I have children, because I have two other daughters too, Kiara and Rodrika. So I'm not going to put myself in harm's way because I'm selfish, because I don't want to love myself and then do harm to myself.
Right.
And then they have to watch me or take care of me or even bury me early.
Honest.
But do you love yourself? Think about that for a moment.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like want to actually sit down and like think about that. And even myself, I have to like, take a step back and like really ask myself, do I love myself, for the simple fact, like, for example, like he said, him being, my father and stuff like that, he has to love himself, not just for himself, but also for us as well. And, sometimes when you don't love yourself, it starts to affect everybody around you that you like the closest to. And, even for me dealing with sickle cell and stuff like that, if I didn't really love myself like that, it would affect everybody around me. And to be completely honest, there was times where, I would, go in the hospital, and sometimes I wouldn't tell him for the simple fact I didn't really want to worry him like that. But at the same time, I started to realize that he's my father. He deserves to know that. And it's nothing but just, love and stuff like that. Even though I do love myself, but I noticed that it was hurting him as well. So I had to really sit back and be like, dang, what can I do to better that relationship with myself, but also with my father and stuff like that. Yeah. And like, a lot of people don't really think about the things they could do to actually show that they love themselves. And, one of the main things you can do is like, you either can pray, meditate, or just, you know, doing things that you love to do. For me, that's dancing and talking to my dad and praying and stuff like that. It's all about, you know, having that time to yourself to actually think and dissect, you know, some of the things that you need to actually cope and deal with whatever's going on with your life and stuff like that.
Yes. Yes. Because it's very important, especially for you all young people. It's very important because sometimes y'all can join the gangs and because you don't feel love from your parents or whatever. And then again, your parents could be loving you.
Yeah.
You just don't feel that really from them. And it's important for you all because it's so much devilment and evil going on in this world. So you got to be able to put yourself or set yourself up or position yourself in a place that your mind is free from all this negative stuff that's going on in this world. Because one thing about gang members, they can tell you they love you, but if you cross them the wrong way, they'll take you out.
It is a wrap.
So you got to be able to put yourself in position that, you know, it's me. I'm thinking about me first.
Right.
I'm thinking about me first. I know a lot of people say, well, you know, you got to put God first. That is true.
Yeah.
A lot of us already know that part. But then it's you.
Yeah.
Because how can you say you love somebody else and you don't love yourself? You can love children and still don't love yourself. You got to be able to love yourself so you can love them children. Same thing, I was talking to some guys at work and we was talking. Then I was talking to some guys out on the street and we just talking. And I said, you know, a woman, once she find out she's pregnant, she's already connected and she already loved that child. But when it comes to us, we can love the child, but we don't love the child like the woman because they're already connected. We get connected when the baby comes out. They're already connected because the baby's inside of them. So they're already expressing the love from themselves to the child through that umbilical cord. So whatever that mother feel, the child feel it.
Yeah.
Whatever the mother go through, the child go through it. When the mother is up dealing with some stressful problem, the child is up dealing with the same problem. So they're already connected.
Mm.
And that's where they have expressed their love and they are showing that love. We don't feel young men, older men my age. We don't feel that child until the child come out. We can feel the child when we touch them on the mother on their stomach, but we don't feel them like the mother do.
Yeah. And like from a man's perspective, you have to like really sit back and think about that too. Because that does play effect on not just your mental state, but the woman's mental state as well. And plus, you want the child to be healthy as much as possible. But, you know, like you said, there's a lot of people that have people who do love them and stuff like that, but they don't like realize it at all. And they like self-sabotage themselves or whatever the case may be.
Yes.
And, you know, out of the people that I meet, I'm not going to say any names, but out of the people that I meet and stuff like that, there's a lot of people that claim that they love themselves, but just by the things that they do and the things they, you know, speak about, it's like, do you really love yourself? Because you wouldn't be doing some of the things that you do if you did. And, you know, I don't know your story. I may not know what you've been through and stuff like that, but for the simple fact of it could be how you was raised. You didn't really have people around to, you know, teach you that. And I understand that. And I try to get that perspective and see it from your shoes of how, you know, what it was like for you to grow up like that. Because I didn't grow up like that and stuff. And whenever I talk to, you know, friends or just anybody, I try to get that perspective for the simple fact because that does play a factor in people's lives. They might not get it from, you know, their parents, or they may not have had their parents in their life. So they try to get it from, you know, a boyfriend, girlfriend, or friends or whatever. And you have to be careful with that. Because it can be a dangerous thing too.
Yes, it is. It can be very dangerous. You know, love is a very important word that carries a multitude of things. You know, we express it all the time. Some people express it and mean it. Some people express it and don't mean it. But you'll know if you do. You'll know if somebody really truly love you. You know that. Because you can feel it. And it ain't just no regular feeling. And I ain't talking about just from sexual stuff too. Because people think if you love me, you have sex. Nah. It's way deeper than that. Because what if you can't have sex no more? Do you still love that person?
Right.
Without going outside cheating.
Mm-hmm.
And see, young people, y'all will grow into that as you get older. You know, and like I said, I do have people my age on my page, so they understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right now, some of y'all just look at it, well, man, you know, I gotta have sex. But what if you couldn't? Think about that. What if you couldn't?
I love myself, but can improve to do better in taking care of myself physically by exercising, giving self physical strength. Physical strength can affect your mood. That can interfere how you act with others. That much is true. That much is true. And I always tell people there's always room for improvement. Like, the goal is to better yourself, but not try to be perfect. And some people get that mixed up because, you know, especially people my age or a little younger than me, we tend to try to aim to be perfect, and that doesn't exist. And, you know, I have flaws. I go through things just like anybody else do. But, you know, as long as you improve and you learn from it and you grow and you see what it is that you have to deal with and you try to, you know, find ways to, you know, get through it, that's another way of you realizing that, okay, this is the beginning of me loving myself because I'm realizing what's bothering me, what's going on with me. I understand I'm not perfect, but I want to improve myself. So, you know, and working out and, you know, eating healthy and stuff like that, that is a way to do it as well. And it does, you know, affect your mood and how you interact with people. Because if you in a bad mood or whatever, you're going to start, you know, you go to work or whatever the case may be, or school, and you just in a bad mood. Next thing you know, you just blanking on everybody that just say anything to you. They can just say, hey, and you just be like, man, go on somewhere. Like, yeah. We all done that before. We all done it. Because I've done it myself. But it's just like,
true.
People don't deserve to get that attitude from you. Because they're not doing anything to you. They just trying to make sure you're good. Now, you have some people that are trying to like attack you in a way, so you just have to watch out for that.
That's so true. You gotta watch out. Gotta watch out for the people. Watch out for people. Watch out for them. They are something serious for real. That's so true. And love is no joke. It's no joke. And you gotta be careful with that word. Don't tell somebody you love them and you really don't mean it.
Mm-hmm.
All because you got a hidden agenda. So now you want to use that word to get what you want.
Yep.
It's like an old song they have, use what you got to get what you want. No. Because that is dangerous, because you can get what you want and end up hurt in the end.
Yeah.
Yourself. Or you hurting somebody else. Because nowadays, people kill you now.
Yeah.
It's not like the time I was growing up. This is a totally different era now.
And I even want to ask you, like,
Charles, what's up, Charles?
From when you was growing up, how has it changed from then to now? Like, what's some things that you noticed when it comes to like people loving themselves or just loving, you know, other people?
They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. People do not care and love like they did back in my time. You remember, it's an old saying. They still say it sometime now, but it's an old saying. It takes a village to raise the children. It takes a village. Now, if I say something to a child now that's in my village, I'm about ready to get cussed out by the child or by the parent. How you doing, Phyllis? It's different now. If I did something in the neighborhood, my mama would know it before I got home.
Yeah.
And this before telephones came around. They would know. And then they would check me. Because some people know me as Pete. It would be like, Pete, you know your mama didn't raise you like that. You keep doing it, I'm going to get you. And then when you get home, they say they should have got you because I'm going to get you too. But see, that's what the village was. The village came together. They came together. But now it's like the village is like this. It's no more this. It's like this. Now we see the neighborhoods doing whatever they want to. Now we see the neighborhoods going this way, that way. Now we see all this killing amongst us. And I'm going to be just straight blunt and I'm going to be straight honest with everybody. You know, because this is where I talk sometimes. We care and raise more hell with people from another race that kill us than we do our own selves.
Yeah.
That's just straightforward. Ask my son. I don't sugarcoat nothing.
Yeah, he don't. He just tell me straight up. Whatever it is that I need to hear, he just tell me straight up. Cause, and like I said, even with parents now, I don't have kids, you know, yet and stuff like that, but you have to show them and teach them what love truly is. So they have that understanding. And so that, you know, whenever they do get older and stuff like that and they go into the world, they know how to love people and stuff like that. And even despite, you know, people doing you wrong or whatever the case may be, they have that sense of love, you know, sympathy and like forgiveness and stuff like that. And they know how to take the time out to, you know, take times to themselves and actually like love themselves truly. So much hate now. People don't love like they used to. Yeah, it's really crazy because
it's crazy.
Even now, you know, just with my platform, I try to give people advice and stuff like that. Now, I don't know everything. I'm not going to sit here and act like I do. If I don't, I'll tell you straight up, I don't know. But if I know what I'm talking about, then, you know, I can give, you know, my opinion and stuff like that. But even when you do that, you still have people that just gonna hate you for no reason. Like, even when you trying to do good for somebody else, and it don't even concern them. Like, for an example, let's say I see a kid outside struggling, doing whatever the case may be, and I try to help him the best way I can. Next thing you know, a neighbor could just be like, oh, why you helping him? Why you doing this? Blah, blah, blah. He can do this himself. And it's like, we get so caught up in thinking that we can't get help from people, or like, what's wrong with just loving this person and just trying to help them? But we so used to not even being independent. It's just more so like, we just don't love each other like that no more.
That's right. Like Rhonda K. Harris said, the village raised us. And then she also said, we had respect for our parents and elders. They were united. And that is so true. That, Rhonda, you spoke truth right there. That is so true. So, because they had much respect. We had much respect for our parents and our elders. It's just like, we can go to such and such house. We can go to Mr. Ratliff's house, or Mr. Richardson's house, or Miss Lyle's house, and we can sit down and we would say, how you doing, ma'am? How you doing, sir? Yes, sir. No, sir. We hear some of these young generation now, what? Huh? No. It's no respect.
And then they get mad when they don't get respect and start cussing the person out or whatever the case may be. But it's like, to get respect, you gotta earn it and you gotta give respect. It's not just, you know, you think you run everything or whatever the case may be and just expect people. A lot of people don't want people to love them. They want them to fear them.
Yeah.
That's something I had noticed. Like, it's a lot of people that want everyone to fear them instead of love them. Keisha said there's no more fear, no more respect, no more feeling, consequence. That much is true.
Yes.
And
that's true. That is true.
Another thing that even with the young generation and stuff like that, we don't be wanting to take accountability and responsibility for like some of the things that we do. And it shows. I mean, there's even people, older than me that don't want to take accountability. And we have to stop doing that and realize, I need to take accountability. I need to do better, not just for myself, but for the next generation, the next and the next. And it can go a long way if we just actually take the time out to do the things we need to do. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And like my big brother, I call him my big brother, Minister Curtis Everett Gatewood. He started this thing, this movement, Justice Administration. Also, he started the thing, SKU, Stop Killing Us. He don't only mean somebody else killing us. He also mean us killing us. See, he's trying to put neighbor and hood back together. It's separated. I see my neighbor and we see the hood. So we don't jump back to where we can connect the two back together to make it neighborhood. And that's one thing he's trying to do. Then his brother, Leon Gatewood, we had the Holler Center right down in Morgan, in Anson County, that, I know some of y'all don't know about that because y'all from different cities or different states or different towns. But we're trying to reach people. We're trying to reach them.
Yeah. Rhonda said,
and I'm gonna see can I get him on, Minister Curtis Gatewood one day and let him talk to you about, let him explain everything.
Yeah, we have to set that up. Either we can get him here or just have him.
Matter of fact, while y'all talking, I'm gonna hit him up, see if do what's up.
Rhonda said, I live in Chicago. When I was teaching, a 4-year-old said he was going to bring a gun to school and shoot me. Now, where he get that from? Right.
What?
Yeah, it said a 4-year-old was going to bring a gun and shoot.
How old?
4.
See how young they're getting? You see how young they're getting?
And part of it got to do with what they see from the house or what they see on social media and, stuff like that. And that's a cycle we all got to break.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like, and it goes right back to, self-love and stuff like that and, loving other people as well. If you love yourself and you love your children, you would. Now, I ain't saying it's not going to be ignored, and I'm not saying that, like, you can't avoid it. It's going to be everywhere regardless, but it's like, in your household, if you know that they're watching stuff like that, that's when you have to take it upon yourself to be like, okay, you don't need to be looking at this or whatever, or you don't need to learn anything about that. And, who knows, it could be someone that child hang around and stuff like that. We don't know, but that's when not even just the parents, but, if anybody else sees it, you have to bring it to, someone's attention and like pay attention to that.
That's true.
4 years old.
Hello, that's right, 4 years old. Hello, Carolyn Tillman, Andrea Tillman. Hey, Chris Bennett, how y'all doing? But yeah, it's crazy. 4 years old. 4 years old. You see how it's going? They're getting younger and younger and younger.
Keisha said a lot of kids nowadays are not being taught, are not being parenting, or are on their own, learning on their own. But what they are learning are the negativity in the streets, TV, video games. That much is true. Like, you do have some kids that are basically just like, teaching themselves and stuff like that. And
it's true.
Video games do have some part to play in it. I'm not even going to sit here and act like it don't, because, I play video games as well, and I pay attention to some of the stuff that's in the games, which I do feel like kids, like, yeah, we can play, they play video games, but I feel like it should be an age limit to where they should be like, okay, now you can start to play this, because I don't know, like, I'm not saying take it away from them, because even back then growing up, if I was to try to get a video game and it was rated M for mature, they used to ask, like, nah, you ain't gonna be, they used to just be like, nah, you can't get this or whatever. If I was to go by myself, if I'm with my dad, they'll like possibly let me get it. But even so, they will like even tell him or like my mom, he can't play this. Like, he cannot play this. Just letting you know that ahead of time.
Yeah. And then like, Rhonda said, parents need to take control and be held accountable for these children. It begins in the home. That's true. And then Andrea said, that's why the streets are winning them over.
Yeah.
That's why the streets are winning them.
Because they getting that sense of love, even though it's wrong, but they getting that sense of love from the streets, and they think the streets love me or whatever, and they don't. They can tell you this all day, but I guarantee the moment you go to jail or whatever the case may be, they're nowhere to be found. And you sitting there stuck wondering, oh, where are the people that say they love me and this, that, and the third, and they're nowhere to be found.
No, nowhere to be found. And this right here may hurt some of you, but my generation know what I'm talking about. Parents are not your friend. This is how much friends we are with y'all as a parent. That much. And we are not like this. We're that much your friend.
In the young generation, we tend to think that our parents are our friends. Like, it's very small. They are your parents before they are your friend. And a lot of young parents, some older too, but a lot of young parents are like making that a thing now where it's like, oh, we're friends. And it's like, no, because that can go south in so many ways. Little do you know, like, I get it, hanging out, with your child and stuff like that, but there is no reason why you and your daughter or whatever, depending on the age, should be going to the club together or something like that. If you older, like, in your late, for people my age, if you like, late 20s or whatever the case may be, all right, I get it or whatever, but at the end of the day, like, and I'm just speaking for myself, I ain't speaking for everybody, but we don't really do that. Like, when we hang out and stuff like that, but as far as like going out to like a club and stuff like that, 'cause at the end of the day, like my dad said, he don't sugarcoat anything. And that's just straight facts. Like, people get it mixed up with, being a parent and being that child's friend or whatever the case may be.
Here's another thing. Parents nowadays, some love their kids by giving them materialistic stuff, shoes, clothes, phones, and etc. And then here's the other thing. That's right. Too many trying to be the friend instead of the parent and wonder why there's no respect. No respect. Yep. No respect. Yep. And both of those are true right there.
And that goes so wrong all the time because you can't buy love or respect. Some people you can do that with, but they're the type of people you don't want to be around because they don't really love you like that. And once again, that goes right back to self-love. If you know and you pay attention to that, then you will separate yourself from it. Yeah, it's hard. I'm not saying you can easily do it like that. Nobody easily can do it. That's just like the same thing with it, and I know this might be a sensitive topic, but that's just like an abusive relationship and stuff like that. It's a lot of people that can't leave because they're too afraid. Either they're afraid of being alone or that person might do something to them or whatever the case may be. So, us as people, if we love them and, they have the self-love to be like, okay, I need to get out of this situation. But don't be so quick to be like, oh, why don't you just leave? Why don't you just leave? Like,
don't work like that.
It don't work like that. It's not that easy. You can't just tell a person that, because then that makes them not want to say anything to you or tell you about it because they have that sense of, okay, you're judging me and it's not that easy for me to just leave like that. So you have to like have that sense of sympathy and empathy and stuff like that, like to just be aware of it and see how can you help them instead of just saying, oh, you can just leave, right? Because don't nobody really want to hear that because it don't help them anyway because they know that they should leave. They just don't know how to get out of the situation.
And it's hard to leave a domestic violence relationship.
Yeah.
It's hard to leave. It's hard to leave that. Don't let nobody tell you, oh, you just walk away. No, you can't.
No, you can't.
No, you can't. I got friends. As a matter of fact, I got a friend that she deals with stuff like that. And I'm going to hit her up and see can I get her to come on one day. Especially talk to some of you young people that's on here. Because y'all go through it too. Mm-hmm. Y'all deal with domestic violence in your relationship, your little boyfriend, your little girlfriend. You deal with that. Anybody trying to control you, that's a starting point for domestic violence. It's a setup.
Yeah.
No one should have control over no one. Even married couples don't control each other. There's no such thing as control. Can't control nobody in relationship. It's supposed to love each other in relationship, not control them.
And
that's a controlling spirit. Trust me.
Yeah.
That's a controlling spirit.
Another way to identify self-love for yourself is stopping the toxic traits that you picked up from anybody. That can be family, friends, relationships, or whatever. Because we all tend to do it. We all do it. I don't care who you are. We all do it. We all pick up a specific trait from a specific person. Now, you may not notice it or whatever the case may be. You can deny it all you want. But I guarantee if you actually sit back and look how you do certain things and how you move, you picked up a specific trait from somebody, and you have to find out when it happened, how it happened, or whatever the case may be. And you have to break that generational curse or whatever you want to call it. You have to break that cycle because once again, that's you realizing that you having self-love and you don't want anybody else to go through that same situation or whatever the case may be. I'm 61.
Says she agree.
Yeah, I'm 61, got kids in their 30s and 40s. I'm not hanging out with them now. No. Yeah, I mean, as far as like hanging out with your children and stuff like that, it's so many ways you can hang out. It don't necessarily just going out to get something to eat. That's cool. But when you trying to
club with them,
and be like their friend or whatever, that's a whole different story. Like it's a difference. It's levels to it, put it that way.
You cannot club with your children and expect them to respect you as a parent. You cannot, because you know what they're gonna start doing? They're gonna start looking at you as one of the friends, one of the boys or one of the girls. That's how they're gonna start looking at you. So when that child cuss you out, you gotta look back at yourself. Was I a parent or was I a friend?
Yep. Cause they'll throw it right back in your face. Well, you was hanging out with me doing this and that and the third or whatever. You was going to the club with me. You was acting like a friend instead of a parent.
You was smoking with me. You was drinking with me. No. You don't supposed to do that with your children. You don't. Neither one of my children have ever seen me drink with them. They ain't never seen me drink or smoke. But see, that just shows you the different generations and a different era. It just shows you that.
Yeah.
An older deacon once told me, and I'm tell you why. One of the reasons why I don't drink or smoke like that. I don't drink. I don't smoke, period. But I'm going to tell you why. Because later on in life, you don't know what it does to your organs in your body. You don't know. And I want to be at the point, matter of fact, I was sharing this with Brandon the other day. I want to be at the point, if preferably nothing happened to none of my kids, but something happened, they can get a kidney from me if they need it. They can get blood from me if they need it. Not because my kidneys are damaged from the drinking or smoking, or my lungs are damaged. I can't even go through the surgery myself, or I'm so high and my blood is just messed up because of what I have done to myself. This old deacon taught me and shared this with me before he passed away. He said, Carl, you know what? I thought he was going to sit down and talk about marriages and stuff like that, getting married and stuff like that. But he said, what I went through with me, because he had a kidney transplant. He said, I blame nobody but myself. Didn't nobody tell me to get out here and smoke. Didn't nobody tell me to get out here and drink. Didn't nobody tell me to go out here and do no drugs. I did that myself, and I take responsibility on myself. Mm-hmm. See, you never know what damage it is doing now. You just think you having fun, smoking and drinking and partying and feel good. 30 years from now,
and that goes right back.
You can look. You go right back to self-love, and you can look at yourself 30 years from now. You can be my age, 54 years old, and look like you 70.
And there's people my age. I'm 24, so I've seen people my age that look like they in their 30s or 40s. That says a lot.
Yeah, that says a lot. That comes from hanging out late, staying up late, partying hard, out there in the streets. It can make you look old for your time.
Yep. And I'm going to get back on that topic, but it was a quote that I saw, and it says unconditional love doesn't mean unconditional tolerance. When I saw that, I was like, God.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's true, like, unconditional love does not mean unconditional tolerance. Like, we, as a whole, like, we all tend to think that we got to tolerate something. Because everybody has their limits, but if someone truly loves you, they will not put you through situations or whatever the case may be. Plus, just yourself. If you love yourself and people around you, but specifically just yourself, if you love yourself, you will not put yourself in particular predicaments or stuff like that can hurt you. And, you know, self-love could be noticing you have addiction and stuff like that. And a lot of people, it's basically being aware of what your problem is. That's a good definition of self-love. You know what your problem is. You trying to figure out how to fix it and how to, you know, do better for yourself.
Yeah.
And take care of yourself. So years down the road, 30 years or whatever, your body is healthy and good enough to where you can take it, you know, it's good for yourself. And if you have kids, you could possibly take care of them. And so all that play a factor.
And then it comes back to like married couples. This is married couples. This is the way they're supposed to be together as one, just like this, as
good, Randy.
One. People try to tear it apart. Sometimes it ain't the people that's tearing it apart. Sometimes it's within the marriage that tears it apart. Because the love I can have for my wife, if I was married, I should be able to express that love to her. She can be able to express it back to me. We can keep our relationship strong. Because there's no room, you see how tight that is, there's no room for nothing else to get in there. You know, and I have friends that are married and family members that are married. And one of the things they say, one of the things in a marriage that's very important is communication.
Yeah. Communication is important. But a lot of people don't like to hear this. Communication is important, but comprehending is important too.
And so it brings you back. Do you love yourself? Do you love yourself enough that you can love somebody else?
Yeah. To actually sit down and listen to what they be talking about instead of just letting it go in one ear out the other. Because a lot of us do that, especially my generation, like, we all tend to do this. Like, we say, you know, we love ourselves and, you know, we can love somebody else. And then once a situation or a problem comes up in a relationship, friendship, whatever, family, and then, you know, the other person is trying to tell you what it is you need to hear, next thing you know, you just dismissing everything they're saying. So it's like you don't really love them, nor do you love yourself, because you're not willing to actually hear them and take in the knowledge that they're giving you. Now, if they just saying some BS, then okay, cool. You just let that go in one ear out the other. But if they giving you facts and they trying to help you because they love you, actually sit down and listen, and don't be so quick to just keep talking and try to, you know, get loud or whatever the case may be, because they don't take all that.
That's right. That's right. You don't take all that. Hello, Joanne Crawford, Pamela Spencer, Reese Hill. How y'all doing?
And like another way of like self-love is just improving just how you act, your whole demeanor and stuff like that. Especially like, for example, take me for example. Back then, when I was probably like 14 or whatever, and I would get in an argument or something like that, I used to get loud. I really did. I used to get loud. Like, we all used to do something. So, but as I got older and I started to like self-develop myself and stuff like that and just love myself even more, whenever I do get in an argument, I look at it like, okay, I ain't gotta get loud. I ain't gotta do all this extra stuff. Because I love myself too much to not get stressed out or whatever the case may be. Because I know I can't get stressed out even with me having sickle cell. Once again, that's self-love because I'm aware of that. So why would I put myself in a situation to where I would get stressed out? Now, even if we, argument don't always got to be yelling or, cussing this person out, whatever the case may be. We can, how we having a conversation with y'all, it's the same exact thing. Now, if they decide to get loud or whatever the case may be, then just remove yourself from it.
Just remove it.
They gonna say whatever they want to say, but if you got self-love and you love yourself enough, it shouldn't bother you. Whatever they say about you shouldn't bother you. And that's another problem we tend to have. We try to control things that we have no control over.
None.
A lot of us tend to do that. Like, we try to control situations that we just don't have no control over, or it be stuff that happened in the past. And like I tell people all the time, that is your past. Let that go. It's hard. I understand. It's hard. Yes, but let it go and move on. Have you learned from it? Okay. Self-love. What did you get out of this? How can you improve? Soon as you improve, you on to the next. You good. So even if that person bring up what happened in your past or whatever, you just look at them and just be like, look, I love you, and I'm just going about my business. Cause at the end of the day, you still bringing that up. So therefore, they still got some stuff they got to deal with. And it's not so much as you, it's just some things that they got to deal with on their end. They just don't know how to deal with it, and they try to project how they feel onto you.
And here's the other thing. Can you love yourself enough and you love somebody else enough that you can let him go?
Whew.
Can you let him go?
That is a tough pill to swallow. Is can you let them go?
How you doing, Beatrice Cash? Can you let him go? Do you love them enough that you can just say, you know what?
I'm gonna let you go.
I'll let you go on.
That we all, even myself, because recently I went through something, but that is a hard one to deal with.
That's hard. That is hard. But it's so true, because if you want peace in your life, you can do it.
You can do it.
You want that stress out your life, you can do it.
It's going to take a while, but you can do it. You'll get there.
Yeah.
Pray about it, put it in God's hands, and then,
start working on yourself.
Start working on yourself. Whether it's working out, working on a book, reading, whatever. Do it. Once I got closer and closer to Christ, I became more and more humble. I don't let nothing bother me. I love living in and with peace. See? Self-love, it works. It works.
That's right, Andrea. Do it. Do it.
But
do it.
Yeah, that was the one right there, though. Can you let them go? If you love yourself enough, and if you love them, can you let them go? Y'all
see me looking down because my big brother hitting me up right now.
Man, that specific thing is like really difficult for people to do, though. And I'm glad you said that, because I was gonna get to it, but you got to it before me. And if some of y'all feel comfortable enough to share, your experience, or if you want to, ask some questions, feel free. Another, example of like self-love is knowing your flaws, knowing what it is that you be doing, and you're at peace with it. You work on it, of course, but you at peace with knowing that, okay, maybe I used to do this in my past or whatever the case may be, but I've grown from that. Now, people still try to like hold that over your head, because a lot of people tend to do that. If they try to hold that over your head, don't even worry about it, because it's like, you know yourself better than anybody else. God knows you, and you know yourself better. If you know that you truly is working on yourself, and you've grown out of the old person you used to be, then it shouldn't matter what anybody else think of you.
Exactly.
Because you know you've grown out of that. And some people, it's hard for them to accept that. Because be on the lookout for people like this too. They get jealous. They'll get jealous because, and they hit you with, oh, you think you better than us now since you don't, you start going to the gym or you start doing this or self-love or whatever you want to call it. Don't pay attention to that. Keisha said you got to recognize self-flaws in order to fix self with positive growth. That much is true. You have to recognize it. Because if you don't, and you just continue to like live life the way you do, you're going to go at it the wrong way. Because if all you know and think is, I'm always right, that is not a good way to live. Because like I said before, there's always room for self-improvement. There will always be room for improvement. It don't matter what you do in life. Is he joining?
That's true. Go ahead.
But yeah, there will always be room for improvement. And some of us don't like to accept that.
No.
Because we always think that, there's nothing else for me to learn or I can't learn anything else. I know all I need to know. No, you don't. No, you do not. And I'll tell you that straight up. No, you do not. Even with me, like me being a dancer or just the things I know now, even with self-love, I don't know everything. I'm still learning. I'm not going to know everything. I'm not trying to know everything. I'm just trying to know enough. But if someone is giving me, information, I'm going to take heed of that. And I'm going to pay attention. Because like I said, there's always room for growth. But we be so stuck on thinking, oh, I know everything. Oh, I don't need you telling me what I already know. But even if they are, sometimes there be little details or certain things they say that you may not know. Because like even me being a dancer, like I'm not the best in the world. And I'm only the best at what I'm doing, but at the same time, I'm still growing. And it's just like, I still, when my mentor talks to me or just anybody else, I listen and I pay attention for the simple fact that I don't know everything about dance. I don't. Like, I know enough to where I can teach and stuff like that, but I don't know everything. Like I said, I'm not trying to know everything, but as I continue to grow in life and as I continue to grow up, I'm going to just continue to learn and try to gain much knowledge as I can. I do have a question for y'all, though. How can you tell that you love yourself? Like, what are y'all examples of it? I want to get y'all opinion and insight on that. Like, how do you know that you love yourself?
Yes, how do you know? How do you know? How do you know?
Like, what is it that you do in particular to where you can actually sit there and say, I love myself. I'm at peace with myself. Still growing, but I love myself. Young females lose their
How you doing, Beverly Casey?
Keisha said young females lose themselves trying to please these boys. If
yes.
They know their worth. That much is true. If they know their worth, know who they really are, they won't lose themselves. They won't stand for anything. They won't settle for anything. That much is true. And that can go for, women and men, but I've seen a lot of women go through that situation, and a lot of us don't realize this, but we lose ourselves when it comes to a relationship. You will lose yourself, and that's one thing you do not want to do is lose yourself in that, while trying to love someone, knowing that it's not healthy and it's not good for you. But yeah, it's a lot of women that lose themselves trying so hard to please, a man or whatever, and they forget their worth and who they are. And they got good friends that try to remind them, but then you got the ones that would just like bash them or whatever and just judge them and stuff like that. And it's like you can't really, you're not really supposed to judge anyone because none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect.
That's right. That is true. That is so true.
We all go through something. And like I tell people all the time, everybody is going through something, but people have better ways of hiding it than you. And when I tell people that, they be like, dang. Because it's true.
That is so true. That's true. You have to know your worth and believe in you.
Because lately, for like the past 2 days, I've been talking to a couple of people.
Young people, take that in.
Yeah.
You have to know your worth and believe in you.
Yeah. But the people I've been talking to lately, from what they've been telling me, I could tell they don't love themselves. And they have doubt. They self-doubt and stuff like that. And they feel like they can't do anything. And you can do anything in this world if you put your mind to it. But like I said, you have to take the time out to actually love yourself and, write down, talk to God, do whatever it is you need to do to cope and deal with the situation. And like, it helps. It truly does help. Like, if you feeling some type of way, or I want you to do this right here. I want you to make a list, whether it's in a notebook or on your phone or whatever. And I want you to title it, How Can I Love Myself? And you write down whatever your list or whatever it is you need to do to love yourself. And every time you accomplish one of those, check it off. And that list can go on to 300 or whatever. It don't matter. And check it off and go back and you'll see the improvement.
Here's another one. Donna Johnson. We know that we love ourselves by how we take care of ourselves and how we treat others. Having the love for God, being friendly and caring, and being healthy in the same sense. Young people, this is my generation talking right here. See, we don't been through that. Y'all haven't even been through that shit.
Man, oh man. Keisha said, I will admit I saw it in my daughter, but I snapped her back to reality real quick. See, that goes right back to self-love, because you helped her and you saw what was going on and stuff like that. And for the sake of your daughter, you was just trying to protect her and stuff like that. Alicia, Keisha was on track. When you accept Christ into your life, things will definitely change for the better. Christ accepts and loves us just the way we are, and we learn to love ourselves and others the same way.
Yes.
Right. And a lot of people feel like they have to wait, or it's a specific time to, let me get right. There's never a perfect time. It's never a perfect time.
No.
Whatever it is you're going through, do it right then and there.
Yeah. The time is now.
Now.
It's now.
You don't want to wait.
You don't want to wait. You don't. Yeah, really, you don't. You want to go for it now. Do what you can do now. Love yourself now.
So that way, years down the road, you ain't got to be like, I wish I would have done this, or I should have done this. Because once you had that regret, that doesn't go away. It does not go away, especially when you get older. And even when I talk to, people older than me, and I hear some of the things they talk about, sometimes it be things they regret, and it be eating them up inside. And I hate to see that for them, but that's just them passing that knowledge down to me and, the other younger generation, that they don't want us to go through that as well. And that goes right back to, self-love and just loving one another, that you just trying to help the next man or the next woman or whatever, so they don't have to go through that same situation. But the time to work on yourself and all that is now, though.
It is now. No time to mess around with it.
Right, because like, don't get me wrong, yeah, anybody can be accessible at any age, yes, but preferably like, if you around my age group or a little bit younger than me or whatever, do it now because you don't want to wait till the last minute or whatever, and then be like, let me start doing this now. Loving self is what truly makes self happy, positive things. That, and also speaking positive things into existence. And you have to watch what you say too. And what I mean by that is like this, okay? When a person say, oh, I can't do this or whatever, already you're speaking that to existence. So whatever you just said, that's already out there now. But when you start changing the way you speak and the way you think, and you start saying, I can do this, I will do this, you'll see a whole difference in that.
You sure will. You sure will.
Because I even, I do it myself. I like practice that. I try to change the way, I speak things into existence. Instead of me saying, I can't do this, I say I will do it, and I can do it.
Sure can. You can do anything.
Yeah, even if you don't have the energy.
Anything you want to.
Like, I know
just push yourself to do it.
Self-discipline.
Self-discipline. One of the keys, self-discipline.
Like, even when you don't have the energy, get up, still do it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, have your days, take your breaks and stuff. Yeah, but
how you doing, Gladys?
When you know and you just feel like, I'm good enough to do something, then do it.
Growing up, one of the guys back in my time, self-love was not taught, especially to the men. They even taught the men, you're a man, you don't supposed to cry. Well, that's a lie.
Yeah.
What makes you more better than Jesus? Matter of fact, that's why a lot of us as men are so messed up, because we don't want to show that emotional side, because we have been taught not to cry. Crying is good because it helps get out the pain.
Yeah.
But we was not taught that. A lot of us were not taught that. We learned as we got older, and some of us got into church, and we learned that way. But it was taught men aren't supposed to cry. That's some BS.
Yeah. And young generation, please listen to me as I say this. Teach your kids mental health, taking time to themselves, self-love, and, for the young men and stuff like that, please, like, pay attention. Even women, like, pay attention to, like, what it is they're going through. And, it's a word I'm looking for, but some people do it. I'm trying to think. It's like emotional withholding. Basically, like, when certain things don't go your way or whatever the case may be, you start holding emotions from either your child, your family, friend, significant other, whatever. Don't do that.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Y'all see me look down because I'm texting. He's at work right now, but he's asking me when we're going to do it again, because young people, I would really love for y'all to hear him out about this. Hear him out. Because honestly, like I said, I'm 54. Y'all are dying before me. And it ain't just because of natural causes neither. Mm-hmm. You're either into a domestic dispute with someone, you're in these gangs members killing people. Y'all are just dying before me.
It's so many things, and part of it got to deal with like mental health as well.
Yeah, suicide on the rise.
Yeah. And a lot of them don't want to speak on it for the simple fact that they don't know who to turn to, or they just don't have that support system, or they need help trying to build that self-love and that self-confidence so that they can, which I pray they continue to live on and stuff like that for people that are going through that. And if you are, please message either me or, my dad or whoever you feel comfortable talking to. But, yeah, like my dad said, from a man's perspective, we don't get taught, self-love and mental health and stuff like that a lot because, most men, we grow up thinking And we always keep hearing, oh, you a man, you don't need to cry. Or even if we do express emotions or whatever the case may be, first thing we hear is, man up. You be alright. I mean, yeah, we'll be alright, but sometimes that's not always the case because, you know, the suicide rate for men is starting to rise now. Mm-hmm. And we gonna speak back on that topic because I'm gonna say that for another one, but.
Yes. We got some people we're talking to. We're going to try to line up. You know, I know this ain't no so exciting topics, but it's much needed topics. Hey, Amy Grant, there go Amy.
What's up, Amy?
Hey, Veronica.
And it's real.
It is real. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. It's real out here.
Yeah.
It's real out here. When you see them people in that casket, that's real. Once they close that lid, that casket lid, that's it. No more coming back.
No reset
more.
Button.
There's no reset. This is not a game. This is not a game out here.
And a lot of
death is real.
Yeah.
You can play with your life if you want to. Death is real.
In my generation, we don't like to hear it, but
no. These people, like I was sharing with Brandon, these people can say they love you, they cry at your funeral. If we decide something like that happen, we decide to have a funeral, they will cry at your funeral. Next thing you know, they're a week for a little while. Next thing you know, you gone.
The only time you get brought up is the anniversary of when you pass, your birthday, or if you just happen to come up into a conversation.
And we would be the one, the parents, the sisters that are close to you, the brothers that are close to you. We be left here back hurting. They don't moved on.
Yeah.
This is not a game. This is not a game for real. This is not a game. Y'all can get in all these fights you want to. Somebody gonna get here. Do you think somebody want to get that 2:00 in the morning phone call, come to the hospital to identify your child's body?
And that's why that goes right back to self-love. You love yourself enough, you won't put yourself in situations like that. I don't care how crazy the situation get. The moment you get in your head, I need to get out of here and I need to go back home. Or if you just got that gut feeling, I don't need to be here. Listen to yourself. Listen to that gut feeling. Let me go home before something happen here. If you got friends there and you want to help them, let them know. Tell them and y'all go wherever y'all need to go. If they don't want to listen, you can't help everybody. I hate to say it and it hurts to say that because, you know, I've lost some friends, this stuff like that, that I tried to help, but.
There goes JJ right there.
What's up, JJ?
Hey, Velma said, when you love yourself, it means you have to let go of something and some people. You have to do what's best for your well-being.
Yeah.
Feed, and let me push this. Feed on the positive things and reject negative. I'm not selfish, but sometimes after God put self first. A lot of times we are there for everyone, attending to their needs and let our needs suffer. That is so true. We let our needs suffer. We trying to be this person for this person, that person for that person, this person for that person, and then we right here left in the back door. JJ, we just talking about you today.
JJ, we got to get you on here, bro. But
yeah, we got to get you on here too.
And that goes right back to self-love, and like you start losing yourself because you trying to be there for everybody. You trying to play this part, you trying to this and that and the third, and it's like you dealing with everybody else's problems, which I get it. If you know, you got a big heart and all that. I know, trust me, because I got a big heart too, and I do all that. But sometimes I gotta take time to myself and be like, let me deal with what I got to deal with first before I try to help you. Because if I'm not right, how the heck am I supposed to help you?
That's true. How? I seen some other people that was in our midst, like Janice Tillman, and want to say hello if you still on here. Hello, and but it's serious out here in this world, y'all. I'm telling you, it's serious. It's real serious. It's not a game.
In my generation,
it's not a game.
Young generation.
It's young generation. Y'all. A lot of y'all see these videos and all this booty shaking and all these nice cars and that money they be flashing. Let me tell you something. You can sell your soul to get there if that's what you want. You can sell your soul to get there if that's what you want.
It's going to be some problems that come behind that.
And it's a lot of problems behind that. And most of the time, you see a lot of these guys in these videos that have these nice cars and stuff. Let me tell you something.
Straight up.
Let me tell you something about that. These guys in with a dealership, they get them cars for the video.
Take them right back.
That's advertising for the dealership.
And a lot of people
And when they
don't know
finish,
that.
they take the cars right back to the dealership.
And I even see videos now, rappers of this generation or like back then, they tell you straight up, like, the money that they was having or the cars or jewelry or whatever, that wasn't actually theirs or whatever the case may be. Like, they had to rented it for that day and had to take it right back. Or it's like, they tell you straight up in videos that the industry or whatever the case may be is not what you think. And they're starting to expose the stuff that's going on. And
here go another one. We must pay attention to our loved ones and get into their businesses. Young people are going through a lot and no one reaches out to them. Family pushes issues under the rug and ignore it as if it's normal. My nephew committed suicide last May due to the horrible words of his mother. We have got to stop disrespecting our children and show love. Y'all, I didn't say that. I know y'all ain't on my page, but I didn't say that. She said that her nephew committed suicide because of the words, the horrible words that came out of the mother mouth.
Like, understand this, if you are a parent, and like I said, I'm not a parent, but still, you also got to respect your child. Just because they're your child don't mean just be straight up disrespectful to them. And same thing, even though I'm older now, but I respect him, he respect me. Even though at the end of the day, I'm still, his child, but he still showed me some respect at the end of the day. He has trust in me to do whatever it is I said that I'm going to do and stuff like that.
I learn from my children. Just because I'm their parents, I learn from them. Like, I got a couple of guys that work under me at the dealership. I learn from them young guys. I pay attention to them young guys. When they say certain stuff, because I ask certain questions, they give me straight up answers. I learn from people. I don't think I know it all because I don't. If I knew it all, trust me, I wouldn't be sitting right here.
We all can learn from each other.
I'd be enjoying my life with all this money I got because I know everything. How you doing, Melody?
And that, like I said, goes back to self-love, yeah.
So, young people, y'all don't know everything neither.
We all can learn from each other. We have to get that mentality of thinking that, we know everything. Young and older generation.
When my son is on the live with the sickle cell stuff and when he's live with other people, I tune in. I tune in and listen because I'm listening to their generation talk so I can learn something.
Yeah. Because even when you hear like my generation talk and you start paying attention, we go through it. It's different, but we be going through stuff too. And a lot of people love to say, oh, you young, you shouldn't be, going through this, that, and third, or whatever. You don't know their situation. You don't know what it is they dealing with or what somebody said to them. Like, like she said, her nephew committed suicide due to what the mom said. So you never know.
You never know.
Keisha said, I parented my daughter the way I was parent. I was a parent. I am 54. My oldest daughter is 32. My youngest daughter is 20. They call me overprotective, but some of my strict ways she's using it in life. She sees what I be saying in certain situations. With that being said, continue talking with not to, but with your kids. Young adults, respect them, listen to them, but never stop being their parent. Facts.
That's fact.
And she, as she get older and once she start to realize it, she'll start to appreciate that more. And like you said, she's applying that to her life. That's how you know it's working. But the older you get, you start to appreciate it.
And here's another thing. How many of you parents out there, whether you're my age or a little younger, how many parents out there, when y'all have dinner, do you sit down together at the table without the cell phone?
Yo. And where I'm located now, because I'm, with my aunt and my uncle, we do that a lot. Even when I'm with my dad, when we go out to eat, I don't really be, I don't be on my phone like that for the simple fact of, we don't always get that quality time. We don't always have that time. And then once, God forbid, but, once that time comes, then it's, dang, I should have done this. I should have spent more time. I should have just in that third. And that regret starts to kick in. But that's a great question, though. How many of y'all do that?
How many of y'all do that? How you doing, Jolie?
Actually sit down and have a conversation.
And have a conversation with your children at the table without the phones. How many of you do that?
Cause I ain't even gonna lie, when I first moved here and started doing that, it hit different. It hit different, boy.
If I'm out somewhere and I got my phone, there's a reason why I check my phone, because of him.
Yeah, same thing.
Sickle cell, because of him. How you doing, Shirley? Because of him. Other than that, I can put my phone down.
Like if I ain't doing nothing business wise or whatever, and I'm just chilling, I don't really be on my phone like that. If I ain't doing no videos or nothing, but if he call me or text me immediately, because it's just like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you don't know. But think about that. Think about this for a second. Take the time out, put that phone down, turn that TV off, tell them to come out that room. Y'all sit at the table. See, one thing about the pandemic with COVID-19, it should have taught us a lot about love, because you couldn't go out nowhere to eat. You couldn't do none of that. You had to sit home.
Yeah.
You had to sit home. A lot of families really learn more about their children because of that.
Yeah.
Because they got the chance to ask questions. Now a lot of people do family time. Family time is important, especially if you're married and got kids. And if you're not married and got kids, family time is still important. Okay. Like my daughters work. They work. So, but we're trying to get to a point where we can be off a weekend or something. We all can sit down and talk, or just go out and just hang out.
Yeah. And my generation, or just, kids that are young and stuff, y'all will appreciate that when you get older. Like even me now at 24, I am learning to appreciate that a lot. Every day I learn to appreciate it, because I value stuff like that. That's just me. Because you can't get that time back.
None of it. You will learn some stuff. You will learn some stuff from the children will learn something from the parents, and the parents will learn something from the children. As long as they're both not stubborn.
Yep.
When it comes to that. Because parents, let me tell you something. You don't know everything. Even though you've been on this earth longer than your children, you still don't know everything.
Yep.
You can learn a lot from them. A lot of people have heard me pull up at the gas station. I might have my window down, and I got some rap music playing. You know why? Because I want to hear what the young people are listening to. Why you act a certain way? And I don't blame it all on the rap music. I don't blame it all on the video games, because sometimes you look back at the parents. The parents is a reflection. The child is a reflection of the parent.
What they learned is what they carried on.
What they see. My mama always told me when I would have my kids down to her house, she have always said, you see them over there playing, say, yeah, they hear everything me and you talking about. They are human tape recorders.
Yeah.
And they can play it back. If you think I'm joking, if you don't go to church, I tell you what, you got a small child, take your child to church. Watch that child imitate that pastor when he get home.
Because I used to do it when I was little. Like kids pay attention to a lot, and they take in everything that they see, and they can imitate exactly what specific people you point out and tell them to mimic, or whatever the case may be. I'm telling you, watch it.
I'm in my 50s, and I have never heard my mother utter a curse word. Never. I thank God for her. She has always corrected us when we were wrong, and always push respect and love, and just being a good person. That's true. That's true. Like, kids are hurt. A lot of kids are hurt because of the parent.
Yeah. And when you spend that family time, like we always think, oh, we know our child or we know our parent like the back of our hand. You might know a good amount, but you don't know everything about them. And when you have that family time, you start learning new things about them that you never thought you would learn.
I'm going to show you how much respect that I had for my mama. My mama has never heard me cuss. My mama is 90 years old. She just turned 90 years old a couple weeks ago. Yeah. My mama have never heard me cuss. My mama ain't never seen me drink. My mama ain't never seen me smoke. I did none of that in front of my mama. None. If she heard me cuss, it's because she walked up and I didn't know she was there. Never. And if she was here, she would tell you that. Never. She ain't never seen a lot of stuff my mama is learning about me now, stuff I used to do, because when I speak in the church and when I say stuff in the church, I bring that out about myself to help somebody
and that
else.
goes right back to self-love, and you just trying to look out for the next person. And like I said before, you might not know everything about your child or your parent like you think you do. And, same thing, like, I ain't never, like, drank or smoked none of that in front of him. One, for the simple fact, that's just not something I want to do. But two, I know for a fact if I did that, back then, I would have got in the chest or something. But yeah. But Keisha said, oh my gosh, my daughters, they be on their phones all the time, and it's so aggravating. We sat the other day talking, laughing, and it felt so good. Brandon, I posted on my page. That's how good it felt. Yeah. Glad to hear that.
Yes, glad to hear that. More parents need to do that. More young people, y'all sit with your parents, because when they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
Don't be at the funeral telling, oh Lord, it's some Mama, I'm sorry. They can't hear you. Dad, I'm sorry. They can't hear you. They cannot hear you. You do that now while they're here. Love and respect them now while they are here. Because when they are gone, all the stuff they try to teach you, you're going to look back, it's going to reflect back over your life, and you're going to say, I wish I would have listened.
Yep.
You can say, Mom, I'm so sorry. All you want to, why they laying that casket? Daddy, I didn't mean to do that. I'm so sorry. They don't hear that.
Like, whatever you got to get off your chest, do it now while they,
do it now.
Still here. It may hurt them. They gonna have some words for you, but as long as you got that out and you at peace with yourself, like I said before, self-love. You want to be at peace and you want to love yourself more, and you feel like I need to tell my parent or whoever this, do it.
Now, one thing I can say about my children is they when they speak, they speaking straight up. It ain't no sugarcoat. It's straight up.
And I picked that from him and my mom, but mainly from him.
And I love that, because whether it hurts or don't hurt, I'm glad they can come to me and speak straight up to me.
Yeah. And we all have to stop feeling like, oh, I'm not trying to hurt this person's feelings and stuff like that or whatever. The truth hurts, whether they like it or not. I hate, we hate to put it that way, and we not trying to make it, seem cold hearted or whatever, but it's just being straight up and just spitting facts. Like, if you need to hear it, you need to hear it.
Yeah.
Whether I hurt your feelings or not, however you take it and going with it is however you take it. I said what I needed to say, so I'm at peace with that. But the question is, are you? Which is, do you love yourself?
That's right. And are you at peace with it?
On that note, we just gonna end it right here with that.
Yeah. We trying some stuff out. We're gonna do a little bit more talking. I hit my big brother up. He said he's at work right now. And I told him we're going to do it again. And I got to give him a heads up, and we're going to do it again. I got a couple more people that I got to hit up. One of my friends, she deal with the domestic violence stuff. Matter of fact, October is domestic violence month. Same as breast cancer month. So it's some stuff coming, and Brandon got some stuff. I mean, he got some stuff. When he sent me that list, I said, boy, that's a lot of stuff.
I got some heat. I told you I was coming.
That's a lot of stuff.
I told you I was coming. If y'all was to see the list that I have, I might post like a small percentage of like the topics that I have in mind. And I'm going to try to get some people on here, try to get, the women and, the man's perspective, or just if that person is going through something, try to get their perspective, whatever the case may be. I'm going to try to get people on here, whether they actually physically here or, on live and stuff like that. I'm going to try to, do some more research on this stuff, because, I'm a little new to it, but
yeah, we're trying to get it together.
I'm going to try to get it better and stuff like that. That's all you can do is grow. And
we already, looking at some equipment and stuff and everything. We thank everybody that joined in, even the one that's already signed off. But check this out. This is something from his list. Mental health, racism. And we see that going on right now. Purpose. What makes you who you are. Y'all hear this? The school system, social media. This I'm reading from the list. Stop hating. I ain't gonna read them all. There's a bunch. Having a vision board. Trying. But here's one of my favorite. Breaking generational curses. That right there, I hope everybody tune in on that.
Another one that I had wrote down was soul ties.
Soul ties. No, I have talked about that on my page too. You know,
Man, it's
Brandon's at his limit on his page, so there's a lot of stuff. Control your emotions. Mm-hmm. Do you know yourself?
Yeah, do you know yourself? It's okay not to be okay. That's another topic that, man, it's a whole list, bro. I got a whole list.
He got a whole list. I mean, I got the list. I was just reading something off the list. So, that's right, Ron, the classmate.
Man.
So we gonna get it. We're gonna try to do it better, and we're gonna try to get some people in here. I got some people lined up. I am gonna even invite, even though I got Minister Curtis coming, I'm gonna invite another minister too.
By the way, I'm gonna try to, get this video on YouTube for those that have missed it, or if you just want to go back and rewatch it or share it with somebody. I'm gonna try to get it on YouTube. I'm gonna keep it on Facebook, but I'm gonna try to get it on YouTube, and when I do post it and stuff like that, put the link and all that.
So once we do it, share the word. We try to put up an event post of what's coming up soon and everything. We're gonna try to do this again soon, real soon, because it's much needed. Like I said, we may not be talking about all the popular hip hop stuff like that, but the popular hip hop stuff don't talk about stuff like this until it happens. Then they want to talk about it.
We might slide in every now and then, but you gonna hear real stuff more.
A friend of mine made this bracelet for me, and this is my motto that I live by, and I use often. It doesn't matter to you until it affects you. Mm-hmm. Don't wait until it affects you before you start want to care, and it matters then. Just like we see all this killing. A lot of people didn't even want to get into it or talk about it until it hit home.
Yeah.
Once it hit home, it's different. Basically, it's a different story then.
Yeah,
but we're gonna try to get, and we're gonna try to have it where we're gonna be on all the social medias.
I'm doing research, and if y'all can help me, if you know any, links and stuff like that, or apps or whatever, send it my way so I can look into it. I would very much appreciate it. Like I said, we're
gonna be on Facebook.
On this,
we're gonna try to be on Instagram next, YouTube. We're gonna be on his other page,
and
we're gonna crank his other page back up.
Right, I gotta get back on that, but I'm gonna try to get it to where if you wanted to make donations and stuff like that, get that set up and go to a great cause and stuff like that. So I told you I'm coming with the heat. I wasn't playing when I said that. Talk about what's real, what's going to help someone. If you help one, you has done God's assignment. Thank you. But on that note, I hope y'all have a blessed night. We'll see you next time. And, as always, I love y'all.
Love y'all.
Stay positive. Stay focused.
Yes.
Love yourself. And as always, be smooth with it. So, this your host, Be Smooth here. AKA, Brandon McCoy. And stuff like that. But I appreciate y'all stopping by. And just stopping the smooth talk. Alright, love y'all.